In this video, we'll be looking at question 2.4 from 5HR03. You should have read the scenario and know that this question is asking you to approach how to explain the merits of different recognition schemes using the assessment criteria as your guide. Before we dive into the approach, I need to remind you that this video provides general guidance on how to tackle this type of question. It doesn't give you the answers. You'll need to do your own research, analysis, and critical thinking. With that said, let's walk through how to approach this step by step. First, start by understanding exactly what the question is asking. You'll want to identify the command verb. In this case, it's explain the merits. That means you're not just describing different recognition schemes. Instead, you need to get into what makes each one valuable. So, what are the strengths, the advantages, the benefits of each type? And where it fits, you'll want to weigh up their relative value. The question mentions specific types of recognition schemes: formal and informal, day-to-day, public recognition, cash awards, and non-cash awards. Make sure you're focusing on those. Your job is to analyze how each approach can positively impact people at the organization in the scenario. Don't just list them. Dig into what makes them effective. And keep in mind, the question doesn't ask for disadvantages, implementation challenges, or anything off topic. Stick to the types listed in the assessment criteria. Now let's talk about making judgments. Don't just describe the schemes. Think critically about how and why each one works. Use evaluative language. Say things like, this is particularly effective for, this may be limited by, or this offers significant benefits when. Ask yourself, does one work better in a certain organizational culture? Would informal, day-to-day recognition actually motivate some teams more than a formal scheme? And when you make a judgment, back it up. Explain your reasoning. When you're planning your answer, start with a quick introduction. Just a sentence or two explaining why recognition schemes matter for motivation and organizational performance in the scenario. Then, break your main analysis into clear sections. One way is to go by recognition type, so formal versus informal recognition, then day-to-day and public recognition, and finally, cash versus non-cash awards. Within each section, explain the merits of each approach. Support your points with theory or evidence where you can. Try comparing the different types. Show where one might be more effective than another, depending on the situation. End with a short summary judgment, highlighting which schemes might be most suitable for the scenario. Make sure every paragraph makes a clear point, explains why it matters, and always links back to the assessment criteria. It's really important to use the assessment criteria as your framework. Don't go off on a tangent. Stick to explaining the merits of the recognition types listed: formal and informal, day-to-day and public, cash and non-cash. Organize your analysis around these categories so it's clear you've covered everything the question asks for. You'll also want to use some academic sources. 2 or 3 is usually enough. Look for sources that talk directly about recognition schemes and how effective they are. Paraphrase the key ideas to show you understand them, and use Harvard referencing in your text. Use each reference to support a specific evaluative point, not just for the sake of including a citation. And unless you're told otherwise, add a reference list at the end of your essay. Next, connect the theory to the scenario. Think about how the current lack of recognition might be affecting staff morale or turnover. Consider which types of recognition schemes would fit best given the organization's size, culture, and workforce. Use details from the scenario to justify why a certain type of recognition might be more effective. If you want to aim for high marks, focus on fewer points but go into more depth. Always link your analysis back to academic theory and to the scenario itself. Show critical thinking. Ask yourself, is this type of recognition really going to work for every employee group or every organizational goal? Remember, what works in one context might not be as effective in another, so support your points with evidence and logical reasoning. Finally, keep your writing clear and concise. Make sure every sentence has a purpose. Don't repeat yourself or get lost in detail that isn't relevant. Use direct, simple language, and make sure your paragraphs flow logically from one point to the next. Stay tightly focused on the merits of recognition schemes, as laid out in the question and the assessment criteria. Alright, that wraps up our approach for this question. If you found this helpful, give us a like and hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the other videos in this series. And check out the rest of our playlist for more guidance on tackling your assignments. Thanks for watching.